Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Documentary Club. I'm Jeff Jones, and with me, as always, is Jack. Jack, how you doing today? Nice to have you with me.
I'm doing very well, thank you very much, and welcome to everyone in the live chat that's joined us for this really bad, horrific event with Chris Watts. Holy camole!
This is a wild documentary. If you are not familiar with this case, it is going to be probably hard to watch. I think it's hard to watch even if you do know the case. I don't want to spoil too much about it. So if you've never seen this documentary, you can follow along with us, or you can watch it right now streaming on Netflix. The documentary is called American Murder: The Family Next Door. This is about the case involving a missing family, and Chris Watts, the dad of the family, becomes a suspect immediately. And this is basically what happens in the days following the disappearance of his family and everything to entail up until somewhat of a conclusion in the story. So if you aren't familiar with this one, you might want to check into it and see what happens. I'm not trying not to give you a spoiler, but I think you can figure it out. If not, you'll figure it out by the end of this one. When you started watching this documentary for the first time, if you can remember, you were already aware of the case? Is that right, Jack?
I was, but some of the, I guess, more salient details I didn't really know. I mean, this is only an hour and a half, so we know that there's so much more that they can't pack in. But I was aware of several of the details, but some of them I was not. So yeah, it was kind of a shocking thing the first time I watched it.
We have a few clips as usual that we like to play, and we'll just start from the beginning. A little intro into Shanann Watts and the kids. Yeah. It is called The Family Next Door. So we'll take a look at that clip next.
Hey guys, my name is Shanann.
Say hi, Cece. Say hi, Bells.
When Chris and I got married, we moved out here after visiting, fell in love with the area. It's gorgeous in Colorado, and we love it here. Gotta be careful because Cece's allergic to everything that we love, like pistachio cookies and walnut cookies.
Say go Steelers.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.
So that gives us a little glimpse into, their family life, and it looks like they had a little online presence, or they like sharing their lives. The documentary is The Family Next Door, and that is the perception that you see, just like a couple normal people just trying to get by, loving where they live, loving their kids, and living in a cool neighborhood, I guess, living in a nice neighborhood. I think that they did well for themselves.
They did, and the outward appearance, I think by at least those that were, I guess, kind of neighbors or neighborly or whatever. I know that a lot of people that you live next to you're not necessarily friends with, but at least you have an observational view. Kind of everything seemed kind of normal, just regular family doing their thing. You're right.
The first kind of snag in the relationship is August 13th, 2018.
Her friends are trying to contact her, and she's not replying.
Right.
This is after, and we found out a little bit more later on. She's returned home from a lengthy away time from the home. Her and the kids have been away.
Yeah, so they went to stay in North Carolina with the family. I guess they're from that area. And then so she went back and she spent time with both sets of grandparents.
Well,
a little bit. We talk a little bit more about that later. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but
we are. Yeah.
So, okay, let's watch this clip where there are text messages and phone calls, and Shanann's just not replying.
My name's Nicole, and I'm calling because I'm concerned about a friend of mine, and I've gone to her house, and her car's there, but she won't answer the door, she won't answer phone calls, she won't answer text messages.
Alrighty, we will have an officer come out that way as soon as we can.
How you guys doing?
Hi.
Here, Nicole?
Yes.
Shannon, are you home?
She had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9, and she didn't go to the doctor's appointment.
You seen your neighbors today? No? Okay.
But they told me Shannon was at her girlfriend's house.
Do we know who that is?
Do we know who?
Or phone number?
He said that she is at a friend's house.
Yep.
Because she was dropped off at 2:00 in the morning by the same person who made the welfare check. The white car.
Correct.
Pulled out at 2:00. We saw her in the beginning of the clip. And then, if you have one of those close friends, you're kind of in contact, and Shanann was one of those people kind of in contact with your friends kind of all day. Like I might 3 or 4 or 20 texts in a day. And so if you don't reply to me in the morning and, I dropped you off last night, you weren't feeling well, and then you don't reply to my 3 and I called. So I've called and I've texted. I'm getting worried. Some other people might not be like that. I might not reply to you for a couple days and it would just be normal. But Shanann was one of those people, I believe, that had those regular text message relationships with a lot of her friends.
Well, certainly a few of them, I think so too. Maybe there might be others that would have been a more loose arrangement, but certainly with 2 or 3, I think she did. She would reply pretty quickly. I wouldn't say necessarily immediately if she was doing something with the kids, but as soon as she got done with that, she probably would have. I agree.
I guess I wanted to make a point of saying that he had said she was at a friend's. That was his original story, and I think that that's important as we unfold. Okay, so let's watch a little bit more of this before we kind of cruise into another clip, because I think he comes in at this point, doesn't he?
I think so. Yeah, very shortly after this. Yeah.
Scott, how you doing?
How's it going?
So this is the only vehicle she would have?
Only one that, yeah.
Can we go in the house? I'll give you permission to walk in my daughter's house.
Mind if I come in, Chris?
Yeah.
You checked upstairs. She's not there. Her parents are out of state.
Across country, North Carolina.
Great. Do you think Chris is acting normal, or does everything seem like this is how the reaction would be if someone was missing?
Not for me. I'd be
okay.
I would be going completely ape shit. I would have been ape shit on the phone.
So he kind of stormed in. Chris did. He kind of ran past, like made quick contact with the cop, and then beelined to the garage. Right? He didn't.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only thing that I noticed. That was like, oh, he did. He kind of brushed the cop off. Like,
yeah, that was a little strange.
I don't know what I would say to the cop other than, "Come on in and help me search."
Yeah. Let's take a look inside. Let's see what we can find. Come on, let's go.
I'll check upstairs. You check downstairs. Can you check the basement while I look in the attic? I don't know what you would say, but it just seemed like he brushed past that cop too quick. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did notice that. I didn't. Looking back at it now, though, I probably should have put a little more weight into that, because it's like you wanted to get that guy in his rear view as quickly as possible.
Didn't want to make eye contact in my mind. Right.
All the girls' blankets is gone.
Nothing else appears to be missing, though. Just
Her phone.
Her phone's here? Her phone's here.
does she work?
Yeah, she works from home.
Oh, from home.
She works. This is her lifeline.
It was shut down.
Yeah.
That's her purse. It's her medication. She takes her medication still in here.
Thanks to body cam footage, which, by the way, is such a great thing that we have these days. Thanks to the body cam footage, we get to see what it was like in those first moments in the house after she's been missing. And the one thing that I want to notice is that the friend pointed out that she takes medication and not the husband.
Right.
That was a concern of the friend right away, not the husband.
Yep. Right.
Who's, in my mind, supposed to be closer than the friend, but that would be like, oh shit, she's got her, she's on medication. She needs to take her medication. And if she's somewhere with the kids, this could be dangerous.
Her purse is there.
Purse is there. She's gone. The kids are gone, but nothing of their belongings are gone. So it's like they've just vanished off the face of the earth.
Correct.
The car is still there. It's like someone erased them.
They've been beamed aboard the Starship Enterprise.
My reaction would be
bad luck.
What the is going on?
Absolutely.
Am I in the Twilight Zone? What do you mean all of her stuff is here? Like, all of her stuff is here and she's gone. Like, she didn't leave with the kids. Someone took them or something. You know what I mean? Like, this is not normal. She wouldn't do this. That's what
No.
I'd be saying to the cop. This isn't normal. Shouldn't be doing this. We need to start looking, like, get the search party out. We need to start looking.
Immediately.
We need the search party now. Can you please call and get the search party now? That's what I'd be saying. Because there's no logical explanation at this point.
No.
You're on the phone with the mom and the best friend is there.
And no one knows where they're at. No one.
And no one knows where she is. Now it's time to go into panic mode. And I just don't see that. I see like he's like concerned, but like
not panicked at all.
Not panicked. And that, I think, when you see her purse and all of her belongings, her car and her phone, and he even said it, this is her lifeline.
Correct.
At that point, I'd be saying, we need to get the APB out, sir. Can we, like, what do we need to do? What's the next step in a missing persons case?
Yeah.
That's what I'd be asking. What can we do next? I don't know. I'm not law enforcement. Can you please help me? What do we do next?
Right.
But he kind of sits there and idles by.
Not a good look, I can tell you that.
You know, I hate to key in on but that's where investigators always look first, right?
Of course they do. They have to.
Yeah. Okay.
They have to start into the closest layer of the onion and peel away.
But I kind of want to go right to that security camera footage with the neighbor.
Yeah, I think the security footage is good.
The neighbor had security footage going, and the law enforcement and Scott go over to the house to see if they can see anything and get any clues about this missing family.
Motion. Any emotion event that happens. I got misses him at 5:17. I want to get everything done.
I'm not a body language expert, but this looks like I'm nervous.
Yeah,
he's like I'm guilty. I'm sorry. It
just struck back again his garage.
I've got issues the other week when people were stealing stuff out of like garages. I can see where someone tried to jimmy with a flathead screwdriver.
Because we've seen that there's burglaries gone wrong before, and if this is an area where there have been recent attempted burglaries, like that's a potential. Like at this point in time, like we have to be open-minded, right? And think maybe she witnessed something, or maybe there was someone that tried to burglarize the house and it went wrong. I mean, we don't know at this point.
Not really. I mean, no real signs of disturbance that I guess that, I mean, again, there's so much that I'm sure is left out. They didn't really dive too far into that burglary end of it. So, but I can't disagree. Yeah. I mean, it's a consideration.
No.
He never loads the stuff in and out of the garage ever.
Right.
He never talks. So the fact that he's over here blabbing his mouth makes me kind of suspicious.
You put yourself in his situation.
Oh, I agree.
You're not going to be normal.
No,
you're going to see a different side of me.
Yeah.
So that's fair.
I think that's fair.
The neighbor did kind of smell something. So that's fair too. That in his estimation, something ain't right.
I agree. I think that by this point, she'd already been missing a couple days, so I think it's kind of the same situation. They kind of want to clear the air, as it were, make sure nothing happened in the house.
Be normal. It's amazingly clean.
So you can give me your first and last name.
Chris Watts, WATTS. I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids.
Did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation. I just want them back.
He went right to the media. He didn't have a problem meeting with the media.
No.
And so in one instance, I go, well, that kind of seems like the right thing to do. I criticized openly Scott Peterson for not meeting with the media.
Oh, he shunned him.
I think
completely.
a lot of people did.
Yeah. Shunned him.
And so I think I have to be fair and say, well, he did the right thing there. However, I thought his answers were kind of all over the place. They didn't really pin down.
No.
I've never been in that position. I hope I never will be. But I would say, I don't know, all her stuff is here and she's gone. It's not good. It doesn't seem like she just took off because her phone is here. That's what I would have said so we need to start looking. If you have seen a woman that matches her description with 2 children, please come and call the cops. That's what I would say, because something ain't right. I honestly don't think she just took off because all her stuff is here. To me, that's the right answer.
I mean, I've been married a long time, for those that don't know, when I mean a long time, I'm talking pushing 40 years. Okay. So even, in our fifth or sixth year of marriage, I would have known if my wife was going to be just kind of remove herself from my house, and if we had a some kind of deep emotional discussion that's going to cause such a problem, I'm just going to leave all my stuff here and walk out the door and disappear. No, man, no.
To be fair, if you told me that Chris did that, or a man, just in general, like he's gone, all his stuff is here and he's just gone. That without, but I don't see her doing that with the kids.
No.
Well, I would also say to the press, she needs medication. We need to, please, I'm begging you, if anyone's seen her or even thinks they may have seen someone that resembles her,
report it.
Please contact the police. That's all you need to say in this.
That's it.
Not, I just want him back. I just want him back. Well, yeah, we know you just want him back.
Of course.
Everybody, but like, what is your message to the community? And my message to the community is something ain't right, guys. Her phone is here. It means that she did not leave willingly. Please, if you have any information, I'm begging you. That's what you say. This one's getting me fired up, Jack. Getting emotional.
I'm the same way, and it's going to get worse. For you and I, this becomes a real issue. But yeah, this is his first interview. If you're going to 2135.
I talked to her about how I was feeling, what's been going on with us for the last 6 weeks. Honestly, like the best way for people to really find out who they are is to spend time apart. I agree.
But when the cop said, yeah, I agree, Chris could have said anything and the cop would have said, yeah, I agree. That's my perception from an interrogator's point of view. If he said, you only really get to know people when they're together, he would have said, yeah, I agree. You only really get to know someone when you're apart. Yeah, I agree. I think at this point, he's just trying to get him to talk. That's my opinion.
Well, there's something else here that I really dislike, and I know you see it. You have to see it. Chris is hemmed in the corner. You're going to put him in the corner, number one, and you're going to block his exit, number two.
So you kind of have two things going on here. You have I'm backing you into a corner.
Yep.
But I'm also looking at how relaxed I am.
Yep.
And how I'm your buddy. And
but I'm really blocking your way out.
I am blocking your way out, but I'm also not showing aggression, if that makes
Correct.
sense.
It's in a non-threatening way, but if you want out, you're going to have to ask me to move.
I think what's coming out of the officer's mouth and what they're observing are two different things.
Correct.
Can you connect the dots between both of you being upset and crying, and here we are, and now she and the kids are gone? Like, did I make her feel like she needs to leave? Like, if he doesn't love me, maybe I should just go.
I guess at that point, I'd be like, what are you doing while we're talking? What are you doing to find her?
Correct. What steps are being taken?
And maybe he said that. We don't see everything, so let's be fair.
That's true. That's true.
7 weeks earlier, Shanann and the girls go to North Carolina for 6 weeks. They met with her family mostly. I think they met with his parents a little bit, but there was like some issues there.
Chris's mother had grandma and grandpa went and got ice cream, but one of Shanann and Chris's kids was allergic to something.
I think it's pistachios.
Okay, fair enough. But she was allergic to whatever was in this. One of the kids was, and Chris's mother gave it to her anyway, and it caused a huge fight between Shanann and Chris's parents. And she basically said, I'm done with them. That's it. It's over. And didn't see him anymore, I guess. Or if she did.
I think the whole time they were in, then they didn't see him the rest of the time they were in North Carolina.
Correct. I've been married a long time. We raised, 5 kids. Well, I mean, Caitlin passed away, but still, I'm just saying it's one thing to go visit for a week or two somewhere, but to leave for basically your home for 6 weeks to go visit family. Maybe that's a thing for some families. I've just never heard of it.
Now plug that into what Chris had just said. When you have spend time away, you basically get time to think, right? I think that's what he was saying. Like, I've had 6 weeks of time to think, and a lot of things bubbled up when she came back and we had this emotional conversation. And I think that's kind of, one of the what the officer was searching for. I think that's what he was looking for.
Well, doesn't that kind of spell out like some underlying problems? To me, it does.
And Nicole, who's Shanann's friend, told the police that Chris's parents and sister did not like Shanann.
Yes.
And
That's
when
true.
your family doesn't like your significant other, it makes it tougher. And I think at one point in the documentary, Shanann admits, like, I'm the one who wears the pants in the relationship. I'm kind of the bossier kind of, one who is calling the shots, more or less.
Yep.
I do want to watch a little bit more of the police interview. They ask about if Shanann might have had a boyfriend, or Chris Watts, if Chris had, maybe had a girlfriend. So let's watch a little bit about that.
Okay.
Is there anyone that you think that maybe your wife got close with?
If that was the case, I didn't have one suspicion about it.
Maybe there was a girl that inspired that?
No. I have never cheated on my wife.
Okay, fair enough. If that's what he says, that's the story we're going with, right?
Yep.
But I think it's important these questions be asked. And these are normal questions that I think all law enforcement is going to ask. I don't think that it's unique of the situation at all. We got the next clip at 34:27.
Oh, boy.
And we have a lot to talk about in 34:27.
Damn right we do.
I don't know if we should start. I think we have a couple things to say before we watch this clip. Because once we watch this clip, I think, we're before this clip and everything after this clip. And I think the tides change here. So the clip that I'm talking about is when Chris Watts goes in to take a polygraph.
Correct.
And this is when I have a lot of issues with the polygraph, the person who did the test. I'm probably going to stop this clip pretty abruptly because the way that she delivers the polygraph. And I want to say to you guys, like I've said, in prior weeks and in prior shows, I'm not a believer in the polygraph. I've listed these reasons before, but I'll go through them quickly again. Number 1 on my list, law enforcement can lie to you about the results of a polygraph.
Correct.
That is the biggest sticking point on why I would never take a polygraph, because they can lie to you about it.
So
Number
it becomes, before you get to number 2, so it becomes a blunt instrument for them. It becomes a change dragon behind your back for you.
Right. Is it successfully used? Yes, they successfully use it. Is it inappropriately used a lot? Yes, it's inappropriately used a lot at the same time.
Yeah.
Which brings me to number 2. It's not admissible in court.
Correct.
If it's not admissible in court, then it's not. It's a real thing. Some people call it junk science. But if courts have determined that it's not an indicator of guilt or innocence, then no one should be using it as an indicator of guilt and innocence. So that's all I'm going to say. I've said my piece.
I agree. If there was legislation that said police can't lie about it to you or the media or anyone else, that might change the flavor. But at the same time,
and you have to disclose. By law, you have to share the results with
that's right
attorneys, not hide them under your chair.
Under the chair. That's right.
So that's the other one, that they don't always seem to see the light of day, and that's another problem I have with the polygraph.
Well, we have several cases we could rattle off right now that they refuse to share the results.
Norfolk 4.
Yeah, they won't.
We watched another one, American Nightmare.
That's right.
They accused that boyfriend. He was totally innocent. They said he failed the polygraph. He didn't. They never shared it.
Never shared it. Nope.
I got a real problem with that.
Same here. But the way she, well, I'm not going to say much, but because I'm pretty sure that this polygrapher is also a detective. I think, don't hold me to that, but I think she is. But she's qualified to give the polygraph.
That is the perception that I got as well, that she was some sort of detective and she had her polygraph certification, whatever that means.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So here we go. We're going to jump into the abyss with you guys. We'll see you on the other side.
Would you take a polygraph?
Sure. I've never done this before. I know. A lot of people haven't had polygraphs so far. It's not like a normal thing that people go through.
We had talks about like the selling the house and about separation.
I mean, I hope that, you know, if you did have something to do with their disappearance, it would be really stupid for you to come in and take a polygraph today.
And we go downhill from here.
So, you know, she is very confident about the ability of a polygraph.
Yep.
She's a little overconfident because we know for a fact that polygraph tests can give false negatives and false positives.
That's right.
It is not a silver bullet. And if you think it is, you're yourself. I understand that the law enforcement, their angle is we're just trying to get to it. We're going to use whatever tool we can. If we can make this sucker crack, we'll make him crack, whether we got to lie to him or not. But this one, someone like me and you, Jack, if we're in this situation, God forbid, I'd be like, no, you're kind of talking out of your ass right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, lady.
Yeah.
But that's not how that's not reality.
No.
This isn't science. And so she does say it would be pretty stupid if you were guilty. And I get that. And that might be true. But we know that there are people out there who are guilty and can pass these things.
That's right.
We know there are people out there who are innocent and have failed these things.
That's right.
We know that the cops have used them to lie to people about them. So, you know, I have so many problems with the polygraph in general. And this, I don't like her
approach,
her demeanor.
No.
Let's say.
Do you intend to answer all of the questions truthfully?
Yes.
Is your first name Christopher?
Yes.
Are you lying about the last time you saw Shanann?
No.
I really need your breathing to be normal.
Okay,
you are like all over.
Okay, I got a problem with that. You're going to administer this test, but now it's got to be done exactly how you want me to do it. I have to breathe how you want me to breathe now for it to work?
Yep. He's instructing him on how to do the test.
So she's eliciting the physical responses she wants from him in order to get the result that she wants from him.
Correct. Got a problem with that.
I hope I'm not the only person watching this that doesn't have a problem with that.
Had a problem with it as soon as I saw it.
I'm just a guy. Jack, you're just a guy, and we're just giving our opinions about this use of the polygraph. Whether you think this guy has something to do with his wife's disappearance or not, we have to investigate. It is irrelevant. It is irrelevant. We have to hold investigators accountable to do work properly in an ethical and a logical manner. And not just try to get someone on a gotcha.
Yep. You need to breathe the way I tell you to breathe.
How I want you to breathe, or this isn't going to give me the result that I want.
Correct.
Do you know where Shanann is now?
No.
Did you physically cause Shanann's disappearance?
No.
Nope.
Are you lying about the last time you saw Shanann?
No.
Were you?
It's kind of hard to relax.
I know, I get it.
Another thing in the background. I don't know if you noticed it or not. I picked this up right away too. Tick, tock, tick, tock. That clicking, freaking sound for anyone in that position. Well, you're sitting there taking this polygraph, and clearly this analyst or this polygrapher is, you know, kind of in your grill already, and then you got to hear this click clock between times she asks questions and you answer. That's another element. I don't like it.
So we did skip a couple clips, of course, but I just want to stick with this polygraph thread, this narrative. So we're going to go to the next clip that they show about the polygraph, and this is when they talk to him about the results.
So I brought Brandon here because we want to talk to you about the results, okay?
Sure.
It is completely clear that you were not honest during the testing. I think you already know that.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise. Just stop for a minute. Take a deep breath.
In my opinion, from my point of view, they don't really know that he is responsible. What they are doing right now is they are putting the screws to him, and they're trying to get him confess whether he did it or not.
Yeah,
If they can
have
get
no
a confession, this case is over.
That's right.
They don't really know. They're bluffing, in my opinion.
No
Is that
physical
how you
evidence.
feel too? They have an indication, but they're going to go, you know what? He wasn't exactly honest about every question on here. We don't. So let's drill him. Let's drill him down and see if we can get him to flip.
Yep. You know, and during these types of interrogations, if they had any proof, they'd be bringing it in there and sticking it in his face. I mean, some of them are actually worse. They come in with a folder. It's full of blank papers, of course. I've got everything in it right here. It's all right here. They don't have anything in that folder at all.
Yeah. I mean, the reason they keep doing this, though, is because they get convictions through it. Because it works for them.
That's right.
That's why they keep doing it. But, you know, anybody can hear my voice right now. They say polygraph, you say lawyer.
Yep.
Sorry.
Nah, lawyer. Now
that's the way it is. Because
or I'm just not. I'm not really comfortable with your polygraph, and here's why. Not saying that you guys would do that. I'm just saying these are the reasons why I'm not comfortable with it. We'll do anything else.
Well, Jeff Jones told me that the polygraph, and I believe him. He's a stand-up fellow. So
Yep. Right. Judge Jack was on there too.
Judge Jack was like,
and he agreed.
All right, so let's watch a little bit more of this, and then we'll mix it up into another clip here.
And I can just tell on your face, I could tell from the second you walked in that you were wanting to just come clean.
I would be laughing my ass off at this woman if I was there. I'd be like, what, bro?
Wow.
And you knew I was going to find out because I told you that. And then you continued to say, you know what? I just need to get this off my chest. We're not here to play games. We're not here to do any of that with you. We just want to know what happened.
Everything that I've told you, I've not lied on this polygraph.
At this point, it doesn't matter what their opinion is. Honestly, if you're the defendant, if you're the suspect here, there's nothing that you're going to be able to say right now that's going to convince them.
No, because they're
nothing.
Trying to elicit. They're trying to elicit a statement. That's all they're after.
Right. So talking with them and talking this through with them at this point is a completely useless scenario that only has one result.
If they had proof, the bracelets would already be on. He has some new jewelry.
That's right. That's right.
People need to remember that. Let this be a hard lesson for you.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to, I put my defense attorney hat on. I'm not trying to help guilty people get off. That's not the point of this exercise.
No.
The point is to keep them honest and to do honest, ethical, and front police work, and not
no thumbs on the scale.
Because we know whether Chris Watts here is innocent or guilty. We know for a fact, and we have hundreds, if not more than hundreds, of examples of people falsely confessing in scenarios just like this. That's the danger.
You did not pass the polygraph, so I know you were being deceptive. So that's not even an issue right now, ladies.
So right before we get to this next part, I wanted to make the point and kind of go through those text messages a little bit. Maybe if they ran really quickly, you know, she's having a conversation with one of her best friends about the troubles that she's having with Chris and their relationship. And she's really putting it on his parents. And I don't know if that's her only suspicion. I don't know if that's a fair assumption, but we know that the parents don't like her. She doesn't like the parents, and that's got to be hard for him, right? That nobody gets along in his family. But the next clip is really important, and this next clip showcases the investigators speak with a woman named Nicole Kessinger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
I think he's a really good guy, and I'm worried about his wife. I met Chris at work He also told me that he was currently in the process of a separation from his wife.
And then did the relationship develop beyond friendship?
Yes. And it's really concerning me that this woman and her children cannot be located.
Like, don't let this continue any longer, please.
I want them back home. Like,
But you know they're not coming back home.
I hope they come back home.
But you know they're not.
I cheated on her. I know. She's a wonderful person. I mean, she knew I was married, yes. I'm not proud of it. She accused me of it. I denied it. We knew about Nikki, and so we didn't need to ask you about her in the polygraph.
These are your baby girls. And you have not shed one tear. You don't have them right now. You're not reading stories to them at night. You're not giving them midnight snacks. Chris, did Shanann do something to them?
No, I don't know.
Did Shanann do something to them, and then did you feel like you had to do something to Shanann?
She's planting an idea in his head?
Well, yeah. I mean,
giving him an out?
Well, I guess, and that's another part of the read technique. It is falter and or kind of do the sidestep and give a defendant that you're wanting a statement from, giving them an out, a way to escape.
Chicks are crazy.
Can I talk to my dad or something? Absolutely. Come here. Do you want to bring him in here? If we brought your dad in here, would you please tell him what happened? I just feel like I've been in here for like 5-6 hours, and I'm like, and this polygraph failed it. They're not going to let me go. They know I had an affair. I can't complain about that. I don't want to protect her. What? I don't want to protect her. I don't want to protect her. She hurt him. Yeah. And then I
Whoa.
I'm going to tell you, just personally, just reading between the lines here, I've watched this clip several times. It's like Chris and his dad have had some conversations about this.
Because they're filling in the blanks. Yeah, I think maybe they have had previous conversations.
I don't know. I just get this strong feeling that they've had discussions, at least to some degree, because his dad didn't really react when he said they know about the affair. So that tells me his dad knew. He told his dad.
His dad knew. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it sounds like that he probably has told his dad, I'm leaving Shanann and the kids, separating.
They did say he's your best friend, so maybe in this story he is, he was Chris's best friend.
And so he says, I can't protect her. You mean she killed him? Or he harmed him, or she harmed him, or whatever.
And then I killed her.
And then I had to kill her. He blames this on Shanann.
Which is, yeah. I mean, but let's just think logically. No, you didn't. You didn't have to.
No.
If that's true, which, now that the cat's out of the bag and that we know what the story is here, there are a lot of people out there that don't believe a word of this. And they say,
no,
he killed her in a fit of rage and he's responsible for the death of the children. And so putting that on her is just another cowardly move, according to some people who believe that. And
they probably got into a huge racket over the non-sex thing, and she accused him. It blew up. He told her about the girlfriend she had, and he's going to leave her.
Get a divorce. They had a fight.
Yep, they had a huge fight.
Maybe she said, "I'm going to ruin your life. I'm going to take you for everything that you're worth, and you're never going to have, and you're never going to see your kids again." Something like that. You know what I mean? And he went off in a fit of rage.
Subdued her quickly, choked her out, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, as they pointed out, he's pretty buff. He's a very strong guy. And I think they make a point in the documentary. We don't show all those clips, but they do have clips of him working out and getting buffed up. And so
several times,
several
times actually, they show it.
I don't know Shanann. I didn't know Shanann. I don't know, but I find it completely out of character for her to ever harm those children, even in a little bit.
No way.
Even in the slightest. I just don't buy it. And I don't think most people do either.
No. Never.
After this, the detectives go back into the interrogation room, and then they're like, yeah, we heard what you told your dad. So why don't we get down to brass tacks? And if you are a bit squeamish or
triggering,
now is not the clip you want to watch. So you might want to, log off or come back after a little bit. This is a pretty disturbing clip. They're where?
Yeah.
In a freaking oil tank.
Yep. How could you, man? How could you?
There's no what else to do. These guys.
And this is the place that he said that his boss said that he was working that day.
Correct. Right. Out there on that ranch. How could you do that to your wife and children? How could you? I'm going to tell you as a dad. This is the bottom of the bottomless barrel of the lowest of low. Bad enough you did what you did, but to stick them in a freaking old tank, I'm
still at a loss. I'm just in shock. It's just shocking. I've heard this how many times before, but I'm thinking about it and I'm like, number one, did you really think this was going to work?
Right.
They're literally where you worked that day. They're going to go and put you know what I mean? They're going to investigate and they're going to look where he wasn't in his right mind. I don't know if he has a right mind. If you're willing to do what he did, it isn't the right mind.
I don't know. To me, somebody has to be a psychopath to do that.
The only explanation is that they're messed up beyond repair,
But to go to the lengths that he went to, I don't give a damn if you had a fight with your wife. Just get your shit and leave. Right?
Go move in with your girlfriend.
Right.
You never needed to get to this. You know what I mean?
No.
Doesn't matter what she says to you. Nothing can get under your skin that much that you would snap like that.
And kill your family?
Come
and
on, man.
Stick them in a oil drum? What?
And I don't know if you have that clip. Do you have the clip about what runs through his head every day?
I don't know if I captured that one or not.
One of his children, I think the oldest children, the last thing he remembers seeing is her say, "Daddy, no." And he's like, it runs through my mind every day. Holy. Yeah.
That's a
There's
nightmare.
a special hell for people like Chris Watts.
He blames Shanann for killing his children, and that gets out. Social media completely loses it. They talk about that, but then ultimately he cops to all of it. That's the 112 clip. He admits to all 9 counts in court.
Mr. Watts entered a plea of guilty to all 9 counts. Those counts include murder in the first degree, unlawful termination of a pregnancy, and 3 counts of unlawful tampering with a deceased human body. As a result of his plea of guilty, he will not face the death penalty.
The last thing we talked about was where the girls were. But we never really got to talk about that night.
She got home like at 2 o'clock. I pretty much, told her I didn't think it was gonna work anymore. And she's like, I knew there was somebody else. She said, I'm never gonna see the kids again. I'm never gonna see them again. Get off me. If I never met Nikki, would I ever have thought our relationship was bad? Probably not. I told her I didn't love her anymore. That's when it happened. There was already something in my mind that was implanted that I was going to do it, and I woke up that morning, it was going to happen.
What was she doing?
I put Shanann in that sheet, carried her downstairs, ran my truck up.
What did they say about Shanann being on the floor?
Mom, you okay? When I was driving up there, they were just sitting there, just kind of asleep, 45 minutes to an hour ride out there. And it's just like,
I don't know how much more I could take. This is rough.
It's bad, man. It's awful.
It's a 45-minute drive out there. You have 45 minutes to not do this.
That's right. Then time while you're there before you actually do it.
You're looking at your girl's curled. Oh my God. I just can't with this guy. And
like
the way he's saying it, like it's nothing.
Psychopath. I don't know what a psychopath. I've never lived with a psychopath. I don't know how else to label this guy. I don't.
He said that he He woke up that morning knowing that he was going to do it.
So he's thought about it, right? It's premeditated.
Well, it's definitely premeditated then, yeah, obviously.
So it's crossed his mind.
It's like I couldn't control it. What?
How can I get away with it? So I worked it out where I'm going to do this and stick my family in an oil drum where no one would ever find them. They would have never found them. Shanann
They wouldn't have found the kids, but he buried Shanann in a shallow grave right where he was working.
Well, right.
You know what I mean? Like they would have found her. He didn't. Yeah, they were in the oil drum. I don't think so. You know, it would have been.
No. They would have probably never even dreamed that he would have done that.
I would have never dreamed or thought of looking in there. And unless they get to check soon, you know, that's going to be corrosive to any human remains. You know, so
probably relatively short order, I would imagine.
I would imagine faster than being, you know, in open water. We have one more clip to show, and that is the judge.
And he was none too kind.
This is perhaps the most inhumane and vicious crime that I have seen. Deputies, I would respectfully ask that you take this defendant into custody.
Whew. I mean, the judge, this is the most horrendous crime that's ever come across my bench.
Well,
this is one of the worst ones one of the documentaries and cases I've ever seen.
It's gut wrenching, but you know, he knew, you know, he had to cop to it or the death penalty would have been on the table. And I would imagine that, you know, in Colorado, he would have gotten it too.
I think so. I think that's why he folded on the 9 counts, because, you know, they had him dead to rights. So he confessed and he confessed and told them where the bodies were. There's no coming back from that. There's no, I mean, one thing about this documentary is there is no question of his guilt.
No.
Not even a little bit. And, you know, it's just looking at it from a viewer standpoint, not just the case, but, you know, the documentary threaded in a lot of social media and text messages and a lot of stuff that we didn't show. We pretty much stuck to his role, Chris Watts' role in this, you know, in this one episode documentary. But I thought it was pretty effective at explaining the situation, giving us a narrative, showing us who these people were, and watching the events that led up to this. And gruesome, horrible, hard to imagine. You know, the strongest emotions ever, as you said, to kill your family, to kill your toddler children.
Or waking up that morning and rolling it through your head. He's once out and he's thinking, nope, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell Shanann, it's over. I want out of the marriage. I'm going to gather some of my clothing and I'm going to leave.
You think you're just going to call Nicole after this blows over?
Right. It's going to be great. What? No, dude.
This one, really got me fired up.
It's haunting. It's a haunting case. I guess that's the reason that it stuck with us for so long. So many people still talk about this case. Psychopath or not, whatever the case may be, that the mind can get warped. I don't know that the guy up to a certain point seemed like a regular guy to me. Again, it didn't really dive into his life.
I get regular guy feel from him, to be honest. I do get... That's, I think, another shocking part is that he just seems like a normal dude. And but there's inside is not normal. What you see on the outside is not, you know, I think it would be normal if we saw this, like, you know, mean guy who beat dogs and had tattoos or whatever. And, you know,
kind of a real asshole.
Angels or something. Yeah, real. This guy just seemed like the dude you work with.
Kind of quiet,
you know,
kind of shy,
quiet
doesn't
guy,
talk a lot.
you know. Yeah, and
he was the quiet one. You know, he was
I think
the
that's part of the
quietest guy.
shocking, but
hear that narrative. You know, he was the quietest guy in the neighborhood. We can't. You know, it's a cliche now, right?
It is.
I don't know, man. This was a rough one.
Well, there's another one in the books for us, Jack. Any final thoughts just on the documentary or the case in general, or any questions that it leaves you?
I thought the documentary, we had a lot negative to say about the polygrapher and her treatment of how she approached doing her job as a polygrapher. I would hope that most professional polygraphers out there, I don't care if you're a detective or what you are in association, not to approach someone that's a defendant, even if you think they're guilty, give them the benefit of the doubt and let them hang themselves if you think you can catch them. Don't feed that narrative. Don't do this horse shit before you start the process. If you think you did it, just do your job.
Right. Because ultimately, like I said, she didn't know that he was guilty. They they suspected, but she came in acting like she had a straight flush.
You're done, and I'm going to catch you.
Right.
That's exactly
and
how
a
she
lot of
acted.
times you come to innocent people like that, and the straight flush convinces an innocent person to confess.
You and I have had extensive conversations about this, and this really pissed both of us off to a pretty significant degree. So, just as part of the system that we all live with in the United States, I just don't want to see that kind of thing. Anyway, overall, I thought the documentary was well done. I would have liked to have seen a few more things added in background-wise to fill in some of the blanks I guess I have about Chris. I think we got a pretty good feel from Shanann's side, but I think there's some missing pieces that I would have liked to know about Chris, but I'm not so curious. I'm going to go dig. I thought overall the documentary was pretty well done.
I think so too. I agree with you. There's a couple things that I would like to see in some other documentaries. We see maybe interviews with family or interviews with friends. I would have liked to see a little bit more of that, because I feel like we would have got a little bit better feeling of like
who this
what
guy
the
is.
friends were saying and what they're, so, but for what it was, they told the narrative, they told the story.
Yeah.
As shocking as it was, it's unbelievable.
Gut-wrenching.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed our little run through on American Murder, The Family Next Door. This has been Documentary Club. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jack.
And we'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.